there, hobby homesteaders. Welcome back to Peaks Peak. We are back out in the building. It's been a few weeks. We've had a little bit of delays because everything's been frozen solid. So we want to get in here today. We went and rented a plate compactor. We're going to get this gravel all packed down real good so we can get our grade set perfect and get ready to pour some concrete. Hopefully within the next week and a half, we can pour our first bit of concrete in here. So that's the plan. We're going to start doing some prepping, see what kind of progress we can make. So I rented this plate compactor from Wagner Rental in Ashland, Kentucky, and I've got it for a full day, so I got to have it back by noon tomorrow. So I think that'll be plenty of time for us to get this knocked out. And I'll tell you, you saw me unload this with the Kubota tractor there. It's been about 4 years ago now that I built my last garage pole barn, and I went and rented one of these plate compactors, and I hurt my back unloading the thing, and I crippled through getting my job done. And then I had to get my two kids, which were like 16 and 14 at the time, to come out and try to load the thing back up in the truck. And I had to help them with my back hurt, and it was brutal, and hadn't forgot it. So got a much better way to operate now. That little Kubota tractor, man, saves my back all the time. Slide her right up in the truck, slide her off in the bucket, away we go. Gotta love it. Park right there for a minute. I'm gonna get a shovel. so we ran the plate compactor on this yesterday and got the base all packed in real good. Now we've got just a little bit more work to do to set our grade. What we're gonna do is go around and mark lines on all the posts all the way around the building to get it set to where basically our ceiling height is 12'2". And that way we can measure down from there. We can use the transit and start figuring out our thickness of our concrete and dragging a little gravel from the high spots to the low spots. But we're real close now. So yeah, we're just gonna start fine tuning and see how it goes. All right guys, so here's what we've been doing. We went around and we marked all of our posts. We had measured down and we made a mark for a 12'2" ceiling height. Our lift is gonna be 12'1", so we wanted to have just a tad leeway there, and we knew that our base was set to where we should be able to put in the majority of the garage 5 inches thickness of concrete and have a 12'2" ceiling, but we want, you know, a minimum of 4.5 inches, and we're gonna dig out a little tub right here in the lift bay for 6 inches thickness of concrete and rebar. So we're gonna put plastic, and then we're gonna put wire down, we're gonna put grade stakes, and then in this section that we dig out for the lift, we're going to put rebar. You know, I'll be the first to tell you, I've never poured concrete before. I don't know what I'm doing, so if you see some things that we're doing that's not right, feel free to jump in the comments and let people know. It probably will be too late for us because we're gonna go for it. But you know, for other people watching, if they see what we're doing and we're doing something that maybe is not going to be the best, go ahead and comment. That's not going to bother us at all. We're in this to learn. But what we're doing now is I took and we set our 12'2" ceiling height by marking the posts, and then what I did was lowered our transit, or raised our transit up on the stick 4 inches so that I would be able to check and make sure that anywhere in here we're at least 4 inches of thickness. And I'm gonna bring the Kubota in here and I'm gonna drag out any spots that are borderline, because I really want more than 4. I want closer to 5 inches everywhere, and then 6 inches plus in the area of the lift. But we're gonna go around and just kind of spot check everywhere where it looks like there's a hump, and we'll work those down to where we know we've got a good solid thickness. So that's kind of what we're doing right now, just kind of getting an idea of where we're at. I also I bought me a new chalk line because we broke our last one while we were building the building. So I'm gonna go fill that up with chalk, and then we are going to chalk lines on the walls too, so that we've got a line all the way around. And we probably won't get to setting grade stakes today because I'll probably roll the plastic out first and then we'll drive those through it. So we'll have to set the transit back up to do that. But we're hoping in a little over a week we'll be ready to pour this floor. Picked up an Irwin chalk line this time. I think that last one I had was Stanley. You could probably change the string in them, but this was like $8. All right, so chalk line on the walls is not working the greatest because when we put this styrofoam on the walls, it runs down to the edge of where the concrete's gonna go, sometimes below the line of where the concrete's gonna go, and the plastic poly coating on this styrofoam doesn't hold the chalk line. So we're trying to figure out maybe a way we can use a straight edge and a Sharpie or something like that, because we want a good visible line to make sure we can get a good level flow to concrete in here. So we're gonna work on that thought. I'm gonna go get some marker paint and we're gonna mark out the tub where we're gonna dig out deeper for our lift, and then I'll bring the Kubota in here and we'll start cutting that hole in. right, this gives us really, I probably went just a tad too far each direction, but I wanted to make sure that we had 6 inches of thickness of concrete back 4 feet or so from the post all the way around, and all the way through the middle, so we can connect our rebar. So we got a whole section here that's plenty thick, got plenty of rebar in it. So now we're going to get our transit set back up, calibrate it to where we need it, and then make sure that we've got 6 inches of thickness ready for here, and then we'll start working our way around the building, making sure we've got 4.5 or 5 inches everywhere else. All right, guys, so we have our grade set. What we did was worked out to where we have at least 6 inches thickness in our little bowl here. In a few places we probably have 6.5 or so, but we wanted to make sure that was good and thick. And then the rest of the barn has about 4.5 to 5 inches thickness. We got some places that are a little more, but we tried to get everything at least 4 inches minimum. So we don't have anywhere in here that's measuring any thinner than 4 inches, but you know, a few spots that are maybe 4.5 and all. But overall, we're going to have about a 5-inch thick floor with 6 inches in the bowl here. I think that'll put us in good shape. So I'm actually going to bring the Kubota back in here since we kind of loosened all this up and just drive around on it just to kind of repack it. Our base, we packed good with that whacker packer. So that's a Burn Peak expression, isn't it? Whacker packer with the plate compactor. And so, you know, the base is packed pretty good, but I just kind of want to pack in the loose a little bit. And we're going to call this good. Probably our next thing is going to be, we got to put our boards across the garage door areas. And then we're going to have to decide whether we're going to pour this whole thing in one pour or not. We've kind of planned on pouring it half and half, but man, it's going to be hard to gather up guys to show up twice for 2 separate pours. So I'm tempted to just pour the whole thing. So we'll see what we can do, but yeah, pull the tractor in here and start packing. So here's our pit for the lift. So guys, we've got it all set up. We're on grade, everything's laid out. And what we did, just to make sure that our pit was kind of centered and that we had plenty of space around our posts so that everything would be strong enough, we measured out where the lift posts are going to go, kind of tentatively. I mean, it's not exact. And that way we know we've got about 4 foot around each post of 6-inch depth concrete. So I think that's just about going to wrap it up for today. This is about all we can accomplish. I don't have the supplies to roll out my plastic yet, but I'm going to have to roll out my plastic, and then we get our wire and put our wire out and get some rebar and lay it out. Hopefully in about a week, we'll be ready to pour some concrete. Man, we're getting close. We're getting close. I'm excited. All right, appreciate y'all for stopping by. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. By the time this comes out, I'm hoping we'll have cracked 1,000 subscribers, but we're dangerously close, and I'm excited about that. So I appreciate all you who have been watching and supporting our channel. Thank you very much. Y'all have a good day.